Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
When I was growing up, my dad was in charge of breakfast. He'd cook breakfast while Mom did her hair, then wake me up with a back rub. We'd eat, then he'd leave, and my mom would clean up while I got ready. Ever since I can remember, that's how breakfast happened at our house. So it was odd when I went to visit last year and my dad had hip surgery. For a few days, it was all he could do to walk from the couch to the table for breakfast, so Mom and I happily served him for a change. He could only complain, "But I'm used to waiting on you, not the other way around." I told him, "So you're still waiting on us to get breakfast on the table. Now sit down and wait." Those two meanings of wait aren't all that different. If you think about what waiters at restaurants do, they wait. Wait for us to decide what we want so they can take the order to the kitchen. Wait for our food to come up so they can serve it to us. Wait for us to tell them what we need. Wait for us to finish our meal. Wait for us to pay. Not that they aren't busy, but they're waiting on and for us. Since we're supposed to be serving God, we end up waiting quite a bit too. Not that we're not busy, but the whole time we're waiting to see what God has for us next. Sometimes waiting involves preparing ourselves for opportunities God has for us. Sometimes it's waiting for His perfect timing. Much of the time, it's waiting in expectation for the next step in His plan. The Bible talks a lot about waiting. Abraham and Sarah waited for decades for Isaac to come along. The children of Israel waited 400 years to be rescued from slavery in Egypt and go back to the Promised Land. And the Jews waited so many generations for the Messiah that God promised. In fact, we're still waiting for His second coming. Waiting can be expectant, exciting, anticipatory, but it can also get a little difficult, can't it? That's why God includes encouragement in the waiting. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." That's a command with a promise. Isaiah 8:17 says, "I will wait on the Lord who hides His face from the house of Jacob, and I will hope in Him." We wait with hope, even when we can't see what He's doing. Isaiah 40:31 is my favorite. "Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Isn't that such a beautiful promise? Isaiah also said, "Blessed are all those who wait for Him." It takes a lot of patience, but waiting on God is worth it. Have you ever gotten impatient like Abraham and Sarah and ended up with an Ishmael and a Hagar in your life? Not literally, of course, but you jumped into something instead of waiting and lived to regret it? God promises, "They shall not be ashamed who wait for me." So how do we do that? And what can we do while we're waiting? Psalm 37:34 says, "Wait on the Lord and keep His way." So as we wait, we need to make sure that we're being obedient, even in small things. Psalm 130 verse 5 says, "I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in His word I do hope." As we wait, we should be studying His word, His promises, His truth, soaking in it, preparing our hearts for whatever He has for us. Micah 7:7 says, "Therefore I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me." This tells me we ought to be praying, talking to God about it, trusting that He will hear and work in our situation. Proverbs 8:3-4 says, "Blessed is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors." Waiting while listening for the Lord, eagerly anticipating what He has for us, like a servant waiting at the gate for the master to arrive. And I love Proverbs 37:7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Rest. The next season of our lives might be really busy. After all, when God brings something into our lives, it usually involves a flurry of activity. So if God has given us time and space in our schedule, we shouldn't feel the need to fill those spaces with more activity. We should leave room for rest. You know, the Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him. It is good that one should hope and wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. For our citizenship is in heaven, from which we also eagerly wait for the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. What are you waiting on God for today? What does your waiting look like? Is it impatient, eager, discouraged, hopeful? And what are you doing while you're waiting?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.